Well, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, party members and friends, it's an honour to be with you this evening to celebrate our 50th anniversary. And thank you all for coming along to join in that celebration. I'm delighted that some of our founding members are here with us this evening, and thank you to them for the foresight and the vision and for the courage to step forward 50 years ago and plant the seeds that would grow and blossom into the Democratic Unionist Party of today. We owe them a great debt. And of course, not least to Dr. Ian Richard Kyle Paisley, our founding father. Baroness Paisley couldn't be with us this evening, but she sent me a very special gift to mark the occasion, which is a book of devotional readings written by Ian and his father, and a message from her, quoting from Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, my favourite verses as it happens. And we thank Eileen very much indeed for her thoughtfulness on this occasion. Delighted also that Peter is with us this evening, a man who was there at the beginning. Ian Paisley was a difficult act to follow. Peter had big shoes to fill, but Peter brought the party to new heights, and we are ever grateful for his contribution, not only to this party, but to our beloved Northern Ireland. Arlene can't be with us this evening, but I can tell you this, Arlene will continue to be with us every step of the way into the future. Her passion for the Union is undiminished. Edwin, my colleague from Lagan Valley, is with us this evening. His father, one of the founding members of this great party. And to Edwin, we say thank you for your contribution over many years and that of your family to this party. It's fair to say, colleagues, that a few things have happened since we last met in a gathering like this. I imagine when Dr. Paisley and the first members met half a century ago, the notion of a DUP First Minister, Paul Take a Bow, who had not yet been born, was probable. But in those days, probably a remote notion. And yet, Paul, we're delighted to have you here this evening with us as First Minister. We've come to get used to Zoom calls, face masks of a different variety, and hand sanitizer, much needed at Stormont, to fight the pandemic. But tonight, we pause to reflect and to celebrate the first 50 years of this party, and to look with renewed optimism to the future. Don't believe all this negative stuff that you hear. This party is not on the floor, nor is this party on its knees. This party is standing straight, ready to continue in the steps of the history makers to make history for the next generation and to leave our mark on this place. Let me assure you that I don't intend to relive all the ups and downs of the last 50 years this evening. But as leader of the DUP, I want to mark this historic occasion by acknowledging all those who have helped to build this party to what it is today. I also want to say that we hope, and we haven't got it this evening, but we hope to have a memento in the next few weeks that will be available to mark the occasion, and especially for those founding members of the party who remain with us today. And we're delighted to have some of our friends here, some of our friends from Great Britain. And when the chairman announced that we had a visitor from Dublin, I wondered if Mr. Higgins had finally arrived. Kieran, though, you are extremely welcome, and thank you. As I've mentioned, our previous leaders all served this party at different times and in different ways, and we are what we are because of them. But the real success of this party is not just down to those who have held positions of leadership, but to all of those who have knocked on doors, put up posters, fell off the odd ladder, attended events, offered encouragement, or who have helped in so many diverse ways over many years. The success of this party is your success. And the fact that the DUP has prospered for so long is down to your hard work and commitment. As someone who has still only been leader of this party for fewer than 100 days, I'm aware of the long history that has gone before and the heavy responsibility that now rests upon my shoulders and upon our shoulders. When Dr. Paisley founded the DUP half a century ago, I doubt that even he could have foreseen success that the party would enjoy in the decades to come. The pathway from protest to power was not always smooth, nor easy, but then politics never is. But the progress that we have made is unmistakable, and Northern Ireland is the better for it. Lord Morrow reminded us of those dark days in the 1970s when this party was born. But the Northern Ireland that we have today and the relative degree of peace and stability that we enjoy is there not least because men and women were prepared to stand up against the forces of darkness, to speak out for the vulnerable, to speak up for the victims, and to dare to challenge those whose responsibility it was to protect our land. We should not forget that it took over 30 years of hard work for this party to secure its position as Northern Ireland's largest unionist party, a position we have retained in every single election since 2003. For the record, that's 5 Westminster elections, 4 elections to the European Parliament, 4 local government elections, and 5 elections to the Northern Ireland Assembly, when this party has emerged victorious. But we take nothing for granted. We have never taken the people for granted, and nor do we do that now. But that's not a bad record for a party that was written off in 1998. Do you remember that? And indeed has been written off by some commentators many times since. I listened to the commentator, so-called commentator, Brian Feeney, this morning on Radio Ulster. I don't know if you heard him and his disgraceful comments about this party being some form of cancer, offensive in the extreme. This party has helped to strengthen this land when it was weak. It has been there and held the hand of people who had no one else to stand alongside them. And we make no apology for speaking up and speaking out when no one else was prepared to do it. But let me assure you that despite what our critics might suggest, we're not done yet. I don't pretend that this has been an easy year for this party, and I do not claim that we have always got everything right, as Lord Morrow rightly said. But I do believe that Northern Ireland is a better place today because of the leadership we have provided over these past 20 years and beyond. After a difficult start to the year, I believe that we have turned a corner and are once again moving in the right direction. When I speak to our members, I sense that unity of purpose and determination to succeed has been restored. Mr. Chairman, we are moving forward once again. And when this party goes into forward gear, we take some stopping. My goal is not just to win elections, though I'll admit it's pretty important, but it's to do something with the power that we win. That is why this evening, colleagues, I will make you three promises. Firstly, I will do everything in my power to remove the Irish Sea border and restore Northern Ireland's economic and constitutional position as a full part of the United Kingdom. Secondly, I will work tirelessly to give us the strength to defeat our opponents and to defend the Union by retaining the DUP's position as Northern Ireland's largest party at the next Assembly election. And thirdly, and I want to see not just the DUP prosper. As I have said this week, I want to see unionism prosper. And whatever some say, I am determined to deliver better unionist cooperation to maximise the number of unionists returned to Stormont, and every unionist should want that objective. And thirdly, I will be prepared to take the steps which will make sure that this party not only celebrates its century in 50 years' time, but that Northern Ireland can celebrate its second centenary in 2121. And let's hope this time we get to celebrate it properly. I have challenges ahead of us. Yes, to remove the Irish Sea border, but also to lay the foundations for Northern Ireland's success in the future. They are, to coin a phrase, interlocking and interdependent. Unless and until the issues around the protocol are resolved, Northern Ireland's economic success is going to be inhibited and our constitutional position undermined. And unless we can ensure a substantial and enduring majority for Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom, any success we have in addressing the issues with the protocol will have been a Pyrrhic victory. There are those who focus on one of these objectives but not the other. This party, Northern Ireland's largest unionist party, must ensure that both are delivered. That is why we have set out our stall against an Irish Sea border and have also set out our vision for unionism for decades to come. When I was first elected as your leader, I said that I wanted to build the broadest coalition of support for the union. And I meant it. Over the past 20 years, this party has expanded its base in terms of elected representatives, members and voters. And we are much the stronger because of it. It is that coalition of support that has ensured election victory after election victory and our ability to influence our own future as a people. I myself am a product of that expansion, and I know that many of you in this room are as well. Those of us who have joined from other parties have successfully fused together with those who began the journey half a century ago. Together we make this party what it is today. But we must not rest on our laurels. We must go even further to attract those who share our vision of a modern and positive union. As Lord Carson said in February 1921, 100 years ago, and so I say from the start, be tolerant of all, and while maintaining to the last your own traditions and your own citizenship, take care that similar rights are preserved for those who differ from us. Our union is inclusive. And we must work alongside other unionists to help deliver a better future for our country, Northern Ireland. Earlier this week, along with Doug Beattie, Jim Allister and Billy Hutchinson, I was delighted to sign the Unionist Declaration on the Northern Ireland Protocol. This was important, not just because it reaffirmed our opposition to the protocol, but because it demonstrated a unity of purpose across all of unionism, and that is something I will continue to strive for, leading the way, uniting unionism. And if the protocol is still in place come the next election, I want to see this united opposition combining to win a majority of votes and seats in the Assembly. The votes are there, we need to go out and get them, and this party will do so and fight to get unionism strong and united again and taking its place at Stormont. And yes, I also want to make sure that Sinn Féin are deprived of claiming a boast for their campaign to hold a divisive border poll by making sure that this party is returned again as Northern Ireland's largest party. On the evidence of recent elections, Unionists winning a majority of seats in the Assembly is no small challenge. But there remains an enormous reservoir of untapped Unionist voters who have sat at home in recent elections, though notably they did turn out in the Brexit referendum and indeed on the referendum on the Belfast Agreement. We need to turn those voters out again to vote Unionist in this forthcoming election. I do not know what the next few weeks will hold, but let me be clear, if there are difficult decisions to be taken in the time ahead, I will be prepared to take them. I'm not in the business of quick fixes or plastering over fundamental problems, but I want to find long-term solutions that work for all our people. As a party that has been around for half a century, we must judge our decisions with the perspective of years and not simply weeks or months. The government's command paper in July demonstrates that it now fully understands the economic and constitutional impact of the protocol. And it has repeatedly made clear that the preconditions for triggering Article 16 of the protocol have already been satisfied. The EU also appears to be moving, though it is not yet clear whether this will be far enough or fast enough. But I am convinced that the actions we as a party have taken, the resolute action we have taken, has caused our government in London and the European Union to recognise that this problem is not going away and it needs to be resolved. Even those who were cheerleaders for the rigorous implementation of the protocol have fallen silent as they realise the danger it is doing to our economy and to our people. As I said at the beginning of this month, while the issues around the protocol remain unresolved, it cannot, nor will it be, business as usual. For the next election, whenever it comes, will be critical for Northern Ireland and for unionism. Despite what has been implied in some of the reporting on this subject, I have neither asked any other party to stand aside in any constituencies in the Assembly election, nor do I intend to. I want unionists to stand together, not stand aside. I expect others to seek a mandate for their party and their policies, just as I will seek a mandate for this party. But I do see a real value in unionist parties working together to seek to increase turnout at the polls and to encourage transfers to other parties which oppose the protocol. That will continue to be our message. I respect the leaders of the other parties, including Jim Allister and Doug Beattie. Jim has taken a strong and consistent line on the protocol, and Doug has sought to expand support for the union to those who have not voted for unionist parties in recent elections. I want to make sure that the DUP is in the market for the voters who are looking for either or preferably both these attributes at the next Assembly election. That's why on the 1st of July this year, I not only made it clear that I wanted to remove the Irish Sea border and its impact on our trading and constitutional position, but that I also wanted to broaden and deepen the support for Northern Ireland's place in the United Kingdom. I have little doubt that the next few months will be challenging and difficult. Tough decisions may need to be taken, but we will take them together. This party has been written off in the past, and our political obituaries have been written many times before. We've taken knocks along the way on this journey of 50 years, but we've always emerged stronger because we held our nerve when others panicked, because we adapted to changing circumstances, and because, and this is crucial, my fellow members, because we remained united despite being assailed on all sides. Unity is our strength. There's no doubt that we are being tested once again. But this time it is not simply the fate of the DUP that lies in the balance. Let's be clear about this. It is the economic and constitutional integrity of the union itself that is at stake. Mr. Chairman, since the foundation of Northern Ireland, many unionist parties have come and gone. But in the last 50 years, only one party has gone from strength to strength. It's this party. If in the coming weeks and months we can navigate Northern Ireland's path away from the protocol and the Irish Sea border towards arrangements which can stand the test of time and to a more secure union, I trust that we will be as fondly regarded as we remember this evening and pay tribute to today. Colleagues, with your help and support, I have every confidence that this will be the case. And may it be our prayer as a party and as a people that we will prevail. For the sake of the Union, for the sake of the future of Northern Ireland, we dare not fail, and fail we will not. This party will stand the test of time, and it will stand for a Northern Ireland that has a future, because this party has a future and the Union has a future. Thank you.